Everybody for a bit of a random stream in Amsterdam. I'm actually here with somebody else for the first time. You want to get in front?
Hey.
It's Adam something from the YouTube channel. Adam something.
Indeed, that's who I am, and I'm happy to join you on this bike ride on this fine day.
Indeed, it's not raining anyway, so. Let's see, do we have people here in the chat? We got a couple of people. Let me get you the URL for it so you can share it on your Discord. There are 9 people, 16 people. Yeah, it's all coming in. All right, here it is. Now,
are you Twitch streaming or?
I am Twitch and YouTube streaming.
Oh, cool. All right.
So, actually, yeah, let me get the link, bud. So just wait for a moment, everybody. I'll give you maybe a better view of the Rijksmuseum while we wait for everyone to come in, because this is a bit of a last-minute one.
Also, let me know if my audio is all right, or our audio.
Yeah, that's a good point. I've never done audio with 2 people before, so let me know how it is. Hooray, you made it by crossover of the century. Koffie drinken, nee, thee. Sound is okay. I don't want sound to be okay, I want it to be great. Okay, there should be an automated tweet here that has the links.
Alright, cool. The Dutch language is so fucking weird, I swear. Like, I understand it, and it sounds like drunk German.
Right, because you live in Germany, right?
Yeah. Like, I understand most of Dutch through my German, and like, of course, English, because Dutch is something in between. But oh man, it just sounds stupid. But I mean stupid in like an endearing way, like haha, that's like cute stupid, you know.
Very good.
No offense to Dutch fans. I like your language. I just think it sounds fun.
It objectively does sound funny.
Yeah, so I don't think anyone can disagree with that. Yeah. So 1 sec.
Okay, and if you want to pull up the YouTube channel there too, you could get the chat. I should have brought a foam mount for you. That would have been smart, but oh well.
Oh, it's just fine. Like, we're just gonna have it unified.
Yeah, and you know what? Looking at the chat while cycling is a terrible idea, and I wouldn't recommend it to anybody. Okay, so what do we got here? We got some people from New Zealand. Yeah, that makes sense. Managed to catch a live stream for once. Nice, Tim. And even with one of my favorite other YouTubers. Okay. I can hear you both.
Thank you.
Great, that's what I want to hear. Cycled from fake London to Adam, what's it? Yeah, right. The guest is louder. Well, that's probably just because has a louder voice than me.
I have more subscribers.
He has more subscribers, so he has louder audio. That's what I've been missing all this time. Jason's in the left ear, Adam in the right ear. At least your voices don't clash. Yes, that's the way I set it up. So one of us will be in the left, and I am in the left, and Adam is in the right. Maybe then I'll ride on the left-hand side. We'll see if that works. Okay, I only had right headphones on. Yeah, that's not going to work.
All right, I'm as ready as I can be.
Okay, well, let's get going before we freeze, because it's actually not that warm out here. It's like 7 degrees or something.
Yeah, it's fine.
It is fine, but it's not. Yeah, it's fine. It could be much worse.
Oh, that's true. So.
Oh, I see a bit of blue cracking through the sky there.
Good.
Let's get rolling. Okay, so the plan here is that we are going to, well, we're here at the TIL. I have my headphones connected in reverse. Yeah. If you hear me in your right ear, then flip your headphones around. So we're here at the Rijksmuseum, and we're going to head out toward, well, that way, Adam, and and we're going to head into Oudvest, in particular Willemsparkbuurt. We're going to go through the richest part of Amsterdam just because it happens to be on the way, and it's interesting to see what the richest area looks like. We're going to head through Vondelpark, then out into New Vest by Lelylaan station. We'll see a little bit of New Vest, go up to Sloterdijk, and then I think from there we'll ask the chat or Adam where we want to go from there. So
right, sounds good.
That's the plan, all right?
Yeah, let's roll.
Yeah. And remember, everything you say is recorded.
Oh, good. Wouldn't have it any other way.
I wish the audio was mixed. I hate listening to anything in one ear. Yep, that's true. But you know what? It ain't.
Such is life.
Okay.
Those trams over there are the same ones, like very similar ones actually to what Budapest has. They're Siemens.
Oh yeah.
The older versions in Budapest, they're called Combino. I don't know if these are the same versions.
These are the older trams. They're slowly starting to replace them.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we should go through here.
Well, in Budapest, these are the new trams. But yeah, in Budapest, they got them in like, what, 2006 or 8 or something.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's fun to see them. It's like an old friend.
Nice.
Except when they first ordered them, like they ordered them without any AC in them, but with a window set up for AC trams. So in the summer, like it's Europe's most like it has like the highest ridership in Europe, that tram line.
Oh yeah.
And it goes in like this concrete jungle. So in summer, like in the first few weeks of deployment, it was like 50 degrees Celsius inside the tram, or like basically like a sauna.
Oh yeah, that's what you want.
People were pretty pissed about it. So at first they added additional windows so that the tram will be suitable for like operation without an AC, and then they added the AC. So now you have trams where everyone opens the windows, and there's also an AC which doesn't work because everyone opens the windows because they installed it because there was no AC. So that's the history of the Budapest.
That sounds lovely.
Yeah, well, you know, so Hungary is kind of a strange country sometimes. Well, always, but anyway.
Well, when the new trams were delivered to Toronto, there were tons of problems with them. But one of the problems they had was similar to the AC. They had windows that wouldn't open because they had AC. But the first units had broken AC.
Oh, okay.
So then you've got a similar situation where it's hot as hell in the tram and the windows don't open. But
I thought Canadians liked sauna.
That's the finish. I got to ride ahead here to get around this guy in the bike lane. All right, let me take a quick look at chat here. I'm going to be looking at chat even less than I normally do because I've got someone I'm talking to here. This is actually the reason why people have asked, like, hey, can we meet up for the ride sometime? I'm going to let this guy. And I'm like, no, because I will never look at the chat if somebody's with me because, you know, when somebody's with you, you're going to talk to them, right? But that's fine.
Yeah. Hey, well, don't worry. Like, feel free to look at the chat. I'll roll around you. Like, I'll follow.
I like a Hungarian thinking the Dutch language is funny. Ha.
Yeah, well, yeah, the Hungarian language is like mostly, I mean, it's like suicide fuel if you're learning it. There's just no way of getting it right. Like, you have to basically like learn it.
Let's turn in here.
All right. You have to basically, if you learn it from a very young age, then you'll have a chance of like getting a solid intuitive grasp of it. But afterwards, it's super difficult. I'm not saying it's impossible. It's just like most people, like, I never understood like why would you bother, you know? I mean, of course, if you're some kind
because
of
you want to live in Hungary, but
yeah, but yeah. So why would you bother? So, there's the thing about that.
I have been to Hungary, but only once, and only for a few days. But I met we'll go this way actually. I met a very good friend of mine there because he happened to be passing through. But Budapest, actually, I was fairly impressed by some of the urban planning things they had done. Like, they had a lot more traffic calming than I expected. And stuff
Yeah, well, they have to at this point, but yes. No, but right now in Budapest...
Give me 1 second here.
Sure.
Is Adam wearing his cat ears? Well.
Yeah, okay, my fans showed up good. No, not yet. It's back at the hotel.
Yeah, we've got 152 people here.
Good.
Sorry, I just needed to turn off this GPS because I'm not using it.
Also, pro tip, people, if you're going on a bicycle ride in winter, bring gloves.
Oh, yeah, you know what? Here.
Oh, hey, well, it's fine.
I
Hey.
brought extras.
Oh, cool.
Take
Then
those.
I'll accept, thank you.
Because my hands get really cold even when it's not very cold. Like when it's about 15 degrees, I start wearing gloves.
And
So
you're
here-
Canadian.
I know, right?
Found the imposter. Just
I'm
kidding.
soft. I hear Adam fine. I also hear him. Okay.
Good.
And maybe you don't hear me, but that's fine. You'll get the good part. Okay, so anyway, this is the Willems Parkwoord, and these are some of the most expensive homes in the entire country.
Looks a bit like London to me.
It does a little bit, doesn't it? Kind of like you're like Notting Hill
people.
kind of.
And well, like, you know,
Kensington.
people near the sea, like they all looks the same to me. Now, actually, it is markedly different from like central, even like mainland Western European
Yeah.
cities. It's well, not completely, but like it's different in like some very key aspect. Lots of brick.
Yeah.
I would imagine
lots
because
of brick.
yeah, I would imagine because brick. I'm not an architect, but as far as I know, it kind of like breathes.
Right.
So it's good. It's good at like a moist climate,
Yeah.
like this here.
This is a moist climate. I can
yeah.
tell you that.
Oh, yesterday I went to Antwerp. I was like, the fuck is this fog? Like there was this fog everywhere. And I was like, what is this? It was fast moving. It was really wet. I was like, oh yeah, because we're at the sea.
Right.
So. But yeah, the train ride to Antwerp is actually pretty fun. Like you get two services. One is the Nederlandse Speurwegen.
Close, yeah. Nederlandse
is-
spoorwegen.
Nederlandse Spoorwegen, you know that.
Yeah.
Spoorwegen.
NS, yes.
Yeah, the NS, yeah. Yeah, it's funny because like German would be like the Germanified version, which like no German would say that. It's Spoorwegen.
Yeah, spoor.
Spur is the track essentially.
Yeah, it's literally
yeah.
tracks, yeah.
Yeah,
Same here.
so it's funny. Anyway, so you got two options. One is the NS International with the Belgian Railway,
Yeah.
and which takes you there in like a bit less than 2 hours, like 1:48, 1:52, something like that. The other is the Thalys,
Yes.
which is essentially like TGVs from the French railways, repainted in corporation, and it's like 20 euros more expensive, but it takes you there in an hour. So,
Luxury condos going up.
okay. At least these aren't like 5/1s.
No, they are not 5/1s, but
Yeah.
yeah, anyway, it's interesting to see.
At least it kind of like it matches the whole like urban environment. So the materials and the whole like dimensions are like similar. So that's it's good.
They are pretty good about doing that here in Amsterdam to
Yeah.
like make it like not totally stick out. I think we'll turn right here.
Because what I was talking about is yesterday I was in Belgium, in Antwerp, and that is not the case in Belgium. Like they'll just build whatever the fuck, and they do not care. Yeah.
Oh, that's funny. I can't wait for the train part of the live. Yeah, I don't know. We're going to see some trains, but we're not going to get on any trains.
Yep.
So which one did you take to?
The NS. I didn't take the list. I have time. I think otherwise, like unless you're in a hurry, like the Thalys is a waste of money.
I think it
like-
probably is for to go to Antwerp. Yeah, like I took it to go to Paris, but that's different. Like,
Yeah, no,
that's,
I mean, to
that's a
Paris.
significantly longer distance.
Yeah. But I guess if you're like a hardcore enthusiast, then yeah, okay. But
Yeah, well, I am also a hardcore enthusiast.
yeah, but when you see like the price difference, you're like, yeah, okay.
I am also happy to take the NS International. It's
Yeah.
perfectly reasonable service, and that's what I would do going to Antwerp too.
Yeah, I mean, it's fine. I mean,
We'll go like this.
yeah. That train also does like I think 160, pretty consistently on the
That's
route.
what they call high speed in North America.
Yeah, that's actually 160 was the speed of the train I used for my commute
Right.
in Hungary. So
Yeah. That is technically the top speed of Via Rail in Canada, and theoretically there are some places where that can
But you're
happen.
such a big country and like relatively flat as far as I know, relatively.
Across, yeah, it depends where, but across a lot of it in the east, it is remarkably flat.
So like that's the place to have high-speed rail. And then I saw some like, there's some project, I forget, the Vancouver monorail or something like that, where they wanted to link up two cities with like a monorail. I thought I was going to kill myself. And is this
Almost at the Vondel Park, I think. Yes, that is correct. This is Vondel Park up ahead.
Now I know what it's called. I walked through this.
Oh, did you? Yeah. That's
yeah.
actually a really nice park. I like it. It's also interesting that it's basically a bicycle highway. When you come through here at rush hour, this is a highway. But it's still a park.
Yeah.
Left here.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah, well, that's pretty based.
173 people right now across YouTube and Twitch. Yeah. Well, at least the weather holds. It's not raining. It's not sunny, but it's not raining. So, and there is a patch of blue up above us, so I'm all right.
It's just extremely humid. Oh my god.
And that's exactly why, like, I get so cold in this weather, because like 7 degrees and humid like this feels really cold. Actually, the Dutch have a word for it. They call it water cold, like literally waterkoud. And when I was in Toronto and I was out doing the live streams, it was like -6, -7, but it felt warmer than it does right now.
Yeah. It's not a dry cold.
Yeah, when it's cold like that, you can just, you just dress up, put a scarf on or something like this. But there's something about this kind of cold that just gets to your bones, and it's like you never feel warm.
Yeah.
So we're heading through Vondel Park now. We're just coming to the end of it. We're going to take the left fork here. And this is where we cross the major road for cars. Well, major for Amsterdam anyway. It's quite comical when...
yeah, I mean, it's tiny. Like, even the busy roads here are just like, 4 lanes is like, ooh, wow, what a huge road.
Almost all of the roads in Amsterdam are only 1 lane in each direction, except if there's turning lanes. And then they have the highways, which is brilliant. I mean,
it's super nice.
Not sure if we'll catch this light, we'll see, but...
I think we will. No, we won't.
Nope. That's okay. Yeah, so this is considered the major road for cars.
Yeah, so... oh well.
And this is one of the only traffic lights we'll have for quite a while. Oh, green.
That's a road.
This gets extraordinarily busy through here at rush hour.
Yeah.
It's an interesting...
Oh yeah, good. You mentioned those cars. Jesus. Like there wouldn't be any space.
Yes, indeed. And so this is only for walking and cycling here.
Yeah.
Which is nice.
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, like urban planning is a geometry problem. Or like it's like interior design, but essentially outside. Exterior design, well, it's kind of
exactly right.
Self-explanatory, but like, where do you put the couch, the table, the chairs? How do you fit? Okay, here goes the plant. It's much the same here. Or like in terms of urban planning, but like, it's cars, pedestrians, bike paths, etc.
So following that analogy, the United States cities have basically just taken toilets and put them everywhere and then been like, there's no room for anything else.
Oh yeah, I mean, yeah, and all those toilets are paid.
There's a reason why they call them car sewers, I guess.
Yeah, like, motor deserts, whatever people prefer. Yeah, I guess these transit deserts, there's nothing going on. Need your car, etc. Yeah.
This signal here has bicycle priority too. You can see the loops on the ground we just passed, and that detects if another bicycle's coming. It detected us, and then it'll stay green for us.
Which the future is now.
The future is now, exactly. Which seems like such an obvious thing. There's the loop right there. So as long as you hit that loop while it's still green, it's going to stay green for you. It doesn't work forever, but it will. It stays green for a very long time for cyclists, because this is considered a priority route right here, which again gets really busy in rush hour and sometimes uncomfortably busy, because this is, well, what is this, like 3 meters wide maybe?
Yeah.
It's really not wide enough for the amount of traffic they push down this, but for now it's perfectly fine.
The standard I know of is like 2.5 meters for bike paths. This might be that roundabout.
I'm going to turn right here. So this, anybody following along on the map, because I don't have my map up, that wasn't working today. This is the bottom of Rembrandt Park. So this is another large park that goes off that way, but we're going to turn left and we're going to head out into New Vest, which is a newer suburb of Amsterdam. We'll get to see some lovely 1960s architecture. These condos over here are brand new. Actually, when we were looking at moving here, we thought, oh, you know, maybe we'll go look at a new building, but it felt like we were just in a Toronto condo. And it felt something wrong about like moving to Amsterdam and then feeling like you were literally in a Toronto condo.
Yeah.
But also it just wasn't where we wanted to be. But
I mean, a condo is a condo. Like there, if you saw
there's nothing wrong with a condo. I've lived in lots of them.
Oh, sure.
Especially in Toronto. But yeah.
But if your purpose is like, you know, living in somewhere new, then it's not your ideal accommodation. They are nice though, like they can be, as long as the planning around it is sound, they're fine.
Yes, and if they plan literally for sound. We were actually in a condo in Toronto, a relatively new build. And one thing I will say about those condos in Toronto is that you cannot hear any of your neighbors at all.
Oh, that's good.
Like they are built like giant concrete boxes, and you know, as much as people give them shit for being concrete boxes, I heard, the only time I heard the neighbors was once above. They dropped something clearly very heavy onto the ground, and I heard a little bit of a thump. But it sounded very heavy, like just from the sound of it. So actually it was perfectly fine. Now let's turn left here. So now we'll get into everything is very different. The architecture is different, the streets are different.
Oh, yes.
A lot of this stuff was built, like a lot of these bike paths were added after the fact. This wasn't like always super bike friendly out here, but this is where Amsterdam really like spread out after World War II.
Yeah, so this is peak 20th century in this area.
We're going to go see the greatest hits of the 20th century.
Oh yeah. One building where the sound used to be a problem, or like the building, the commie blocks are still notorious, some of them anyway, for being like not so soundproofed.
Yeah.
So like I heard one dude whose neighbors would also always like have sex super loud, and then every time they were done, he and his girlfriend would start clapping real loud, and then they were like, the neighbors stopped. So that's one way.
Oh, they've actually upgraded this roundabout. It used to be, we'll exit here. It used to be just painted on the ground, but that's all new. You can tell this is all the new red asphalt, right?
Yeah. That's nice.
Yeah. Of course, I think I must have missed a detour sign because we can't go through here.
Yeah.
So we'll probably have to turn around.
Other side, maybe?
Watch for this guy. Well, in typical Dutch style, I mean, there will be a detour for sure, but everyone will just cycle along here.
Yeah.
So let's just do that. Is it gray often? I mean, this is pretty typical winter weather, except that it's not raining. There's some bits of blue sky out. I should come out here and film because I've been filming construction lately. It's amazing to see the way they do construction here, and when they're done, it's always so much better. Not like in Toronto where they would forget to paint the bike lanes for like 6 months.
And we're back.
So we can actually just pull over here just for a little bit, take a bit of a breather. So this is Amsterdam Lelylaan station, which is one of the stations that was built in the 1980s.
80s, huh?
And many
This is the
people
ugliest one, or?
consider it the ugliest train station in Amsterdam.
Oh,
So
come on, it looks fine.
I think it does too.
Hey,
but
it has
but if
trains.
this is the ugliest, like this is as bad as it gets. And I actually think this station is awesome. It's well, like maybe we can actually stand back here because
we can get a shot of it.
get a shot of it on camera. But
Yeah, it looks fine.
it's pretty good, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
whatever.
it's got bike parking. It's got a bus bay here off to our left. You can see the metro up there.
Yeah,
It's raised up above. It's really easily accessible. I actually like it.
Amsterdam people are a bunch of snowflakes. This is fine. Come on. At least you have it.
That's what I thought too. Because if I think about like my hometown, I mean, how many train stations are there in Amsterdam too? Like, there's like 6 of them, 7 of them, or something, 8.
Yeah, it's just the major ones. Yeah.
Yeah, and my hometown has one with a population of 400,000 people, and it has like, well, it was 7 trains a day, and now it's 4
Oh, okay. Well, anyway.
because of Corona.
Yeah. 7 trains a day. That's nothing. Like that's a little baby system.
Shocking, isn't it, for
Yeah.
400,000 people?
Oh, yeah, that's just nothing. Like in my hometown, like in Hungary, like where I used to live, that's like a city not bigger than like 40K, I think. And there's like 2 trains every 1 hour.
I mean, that's the way it should be.
Yeah.
It's actually gross that that North American cities have such poor rapid transit.
Well, you know, the car industry had more money. So, yeah, like in the Americas, like social, like transportation is not really viewed as a social service, is what I noticed. Like in Europe, the financing system is very, very different. I don't know about the Canadian one, but in the US is like essentially very often just like balls in the wind, go make profit, or that's it. In Europe, it's usually at least on rail, and it differs country to country, but like usually it's bus or rail. That the state has this agency which is impartial and it's supposed to be the mediator between the users of the tracks or the road infrastructure,
Right.
And they pay per passenger kilometer. So they conclude the contract in advance with you for like 5-10 years, and it's stipulated that like for each passenger kilometer, I as far as I know, it means that like the mileage you do with like passengers on in service. And you get paid based on that. That means the players can actually plan ahead, and they can invest in their rolling stock, and they can like have a business plan on top of it. Whereas if you just go for like for profit, then first crisis hits, everything falls apart.
Right.
So, as we can see in the Americas, but here it's as far as I know, it's the same system in the Netherlands. It's absolutely the same in the Czech Republic. And in countries where the rail market was liberalized, it's ongoing, and countries have to liberalize. I think by 2023 in Europe. Like I think that's the last deadline.
Yeah, I remember that. So and there were some people that were objecting to that because they like the idea of a socialized railway system.
Oh, it is socialized still. Like even if it's privatized, like it's different from for-profit. Like for example, in Hungary, it's currently not possible to get like state dotation for transportation. So private carriers can only do it like on their own, like based on their own like financial risk. And this is how I think the RegioJet, the yellow trains,
Right.
have a Budapest-Prague, like Budapest-Vienna-Prague, I believe, connection now. Haven't used it yet, but that's allowed because that's for profit. Otherwise, like if the market was liberalized, then it's like market liberalization in Europe is not like in the US or Canada. is basically that like private capital can also be involved in the social service of transportation.
Right.
So that's it basically. So like who buys the trains? It becomes that. Now
See, this is why we bring Adam something along for your your European social economic side of transportation.
Oh hell yeah.
How many trains have gone by since we've been here?
Yeah, a lot.
Quite a lot. I saw a tram, a couple of subways. There goes a train.
Yeah. What I really like is that at least in Amsterdam, like I went to Delft, the trains really run there like metros. Like the frequency was insane. I went to the station and it's like, oh, I looked up on the NS website, like, okay, what options do I have? And it's like, there's a train now, in 10 minutes, in 15 minutes, in 20 minutes. I was like, wow, okay. Yeah.
It's interesting when you get to Amsterdam Schiphol and you want to come in, like they don't have an airport express train.
Yeah,
and,
you just take whatever.
There's no reason because there's so many trains coming through. You
Yeah.
just pick up whatever one's coming next.
Oh, yeah.
And it'll never be more than 5 or 6 minutes. It's usually 1 or 2 minutes.
Yeah, that's how it should be done. Like the airport express is a nice idea, but in an ideal world you wouldn't need it because, you know.
It's true. And then Airport Express also really does cater to a certain part of the population who are wealthy enough to be able to fly.
Yeah,
right? So it's like, why are we building trains just for these people? Like, why not also make the airport train go other places too?
Oh, yes.
Like the airport is obviously an important destination, but
Oh, hell yeah, comrade. Yeah.
so anyway, there's Lelylaan Station. Let's. Do you want to ride? Do you want to stay for a bit more? Or
We can ride.
Well, let's
I can
get on.
talk more about European rail if you want to, because
Yeah, no problem. I think I would be interested in hearing it, and I don't know about chat, but you know what? You can always drop off. 238 people on right now.
Oh, cool.
Somebody must be interested in European rail.
Yeah, well, no, it's. I'm gonna be actually. This is one of my upcoming videos that I'm planning on doing.
Oh yeah, good.
Yeah. I don't know when. I have a backlog right now, but I seriously want to do it. So, anyway, let's return to this subject in a bit. In the meantime, let's take in the environment around us. Let's not overtrain people. I know it can be a bit too much. So
We're going to go to another train station anyway, because I think we're going to take this to Sloterdijk,
Oh, cool.
which is a huge transport hub in Amsterdam. But I think it's actually the second busiest after Amsterdam Centraal
It's huge.
train station.
I know train stations. I'm good friends with train stations. We have the best train stations, the biggest, the best. It's huge.
You know it. All right. This discussion is going off the rails, yeah. Overtrain is an oxymoron. Well, you say that, but some people can get trained out. I am not one of those people. So as we continue through here, you'll start to see drastically different architecture and street design styles and all sorts, actually. So
one of the nice things about Amsterdam is that, as far as I know, it wasn't really bombed,
true.
or like it didn't really sustain any major
Not
damage.
like the way Rotterdam did.
Yeah. So you can actually see some historical places, and then organically what came after it, like just built around it. So it's not like a big mishmash. Oh, I can see some exotic geometric solutions on the facades of houses here. Yeah.
The architecture does get a bit wacky as you go on. It's not quite like Rotterdam is, but they definitely have a lot more flexibility out here. Here we've got some circle windows and yeah. But it keeps it interesting. It's definitely louder out here.
Yeah.
But still, again, it's like only like 2-lane roads, right? 1 lane in each direction, except for turning lanes.
Yeah.
Which, let's turn right here. So, one of the things that, like I've talked to a lot of traffic engineers after getting into this line of business, and one of the things that is actually pretty clear is the amount of benefit you get from going from a 1-lane road to a 2-lane road is not nearly as much as you might think it is. Because you get people jockeying for position, changing lanes, and that tends to slow it down, so you don't get twice the capacity.
It is by no means a linear return.
You got a scooter behind you. They're allowed in the bike lanes out here. Actually, I'll come on your left side because it's a little easier for me on the e-bike to like speed ahead if there's somebody that wants to pass. Although these are getting large enough to. The way they want to design the bike lane, sort of in the Netherlands, the sort of philosophy is that you can have two people riding side by side and still have a third person pass.
Yeah.
Which
that's super good actually.
Which makes it pretty comfortable.
It's such a small idea, but it makes all the difference.
Well, riding side by side is like actually makes a huge difference in cycling because you can talk to the person that you're with, and there's a lot of places and there's a lot of people who like give people a hard time riding side by side on a bicycle, but the bicycle's the only one that people have a problem with. Like people walk side by side on sidewalks all the time. That's expected. You sit side by side on a bus or a train. I mean, cars ride side by side even if there's nobody there.
Yeah, exactly.
But suddenly when people are riding on a bicycle side by side, you know, in certainly North America, they get all up in arms about it. It's like, but I think that's just because of the irrational attitudes towards cycling in North America. But
I think the important aspect of it, like the whole like side by side plus one, is the like biking this way can become essentially a social exercise.
Yes.
So, and that's hugely important, I think. Like it's just no longer this like, okay, wait, someone's coming, got us. Okay, now we're back. Oh fuck, someone, you know.
Yeah, right.
Just pain in the ass.
Yeah, which totally changed that. I got a question here. Are we both on e-bikes? And no, I am on my normal e-bike, but Adam is on the bike that he got from the rental bike shop, which I have to say is much nicer than I expected.
It's pretty cool.
So it looks like it rides pretty well.
Yeah.
He's got like even roller brakes and stuff. So this is not a cheap bike that he's on, but he is not on an e-bike. So his stamina will determine how far we go, I think.
Yeah. I'm good.
But this is nice, fairly easy riding. But yeah, I think that's the thing. That social cycling is such a different way of cycling, and I think that's just totally like it doesn't even compute with people from North America.
Yeah.
Like, they can't even think about the idea of going for a social bike ride, or even that you would ride with somebody. Like I ride with my kids a lot too, right?
Yeah.
And I do what you often see here is that I'll put my hand on my son's shoulder as we ride, right, to keep him next to me, and we can ride closely. And that is another thing that you would never see in North America. But it's perfectly normal here, and it's nice. But of course, that can only happen if you can ride fairly slowly, because we're riding slowly. We're only going 13 kilometers an hour right now. That you can ride slowly, that there's space for people to pass. Like, if you're stuck next to cars, that's just simply not an option. But there's also this pressure, if you're cycling next to cars, to constantly be going faster and faster and faster.
Yeah. So it's a small idea, but it's very, it's a small but neat. Actually, like half of urban planning is basically all these like small, small budget ideas, small scale ideas, sort of turned up to really spread out around the city, and they can really make a difference. Like in Germany, there's these like on the lampposts.
Yeah.
On the lampposts, there are these little handlebars that they put up. Which is like in bike length. So like when you stop at the red light, there's sometimes these handles on the poles.
Right.
Which means you can just like grab onto it without getting off your bike.
Right.
And it's so good. Like it's just a tiny idea, but that is just like, oh.
Copenhagen has a similar one where there's a foot thing along the side that you can rest your foot on while you're on the bike. But those things do make a difference for sure. I mean, I think there's also a psychological aspect to it, that like somebody actually cares about you on a bicycle.
Oh yes.
Like there's actually somebody thought somebody will be here on a bicycle, let's do something for them.
Yeah.
Which in itself is rare in some cities.
I mean, it's proof that there was an official, at least one official, who got out of his or her car and just like went around and looked at things up close and said, okay, this thing here is missing, we should put that thing there, like whatever. Because oftentimes, like, this is actually very frequent in Prague, Like there's some area which is, like it's very clear that the local leadership has never ever walked around the area. Like they only saw, like the mayor of a district, and they only ever saw that district from a car, from the inside of a car.
Right.
Because and it looks good, the whole district, but as soon as you try to walk through it, you immediately see the problems. Like my favorite is in Prague, in like Western Prague, there is a Řepy, which I actually showed on my stream the other day, like I had the 8-hour stream. There's an area where like people just basically cross the road in the dirt.
Right.
Like there's like a strode dividing lane, and everyone crosses there on the on the grass dividing lane. And no one has ever thought to put a sidewalk there. There's an underpass there.
Right.
But the road is actually like a low traffic, 20 kilometers per hour parking lot road. But there's an underpass, and it's like no one has ever walked there. You can tell from the higher leadership, no one has ever given any thought to what to do.
Right.
And here in Amsterdam, I actually see that like people actually came down here, they looked at things and thought, okay, how can we make this actually good? And they did. So
That's something you definitely see in U.S. cities, that there are things that are just awful that you see as soon as you get out of your car, but most people only ever get out of their car in the parking lot and never notice it.
Yeah.
I certainly noticed that in my walk in Houston that I did many years ago. That it's awful. Like
Houston? Oh yeah.
Yeah, like cracked. If there are sidewalks, they're cracked, they're broken. There's things in the middle of it.
Yeah,
It's
but
just-
like walking is communism. It's
That is a
literally-
good point. I hadn't thought of that.
Oh, did you want to live in Vuvuzela? Come on, man.
I had a few people in chat noticing these lights. They are kind of interesting, right? So they've got
Oh, yeah.
the higher street light for the cars, and then the lower street light for the bicycle path, which is kind of nice.
Oh yes.
What is this? Yeah, I am like incapable of reading chat on this stream. I am terribly
So we
sorry.
can stop. It's all right.
No, it's okay. We can like, we'll stop when we get to Sloterdijk. There are 250 people watching though, which is nice. So this roundabout is huge. I've come through here every once in a while because I used to take my son swimming over there. It's two-way bicycle path around a roundabout, which is a little bit rare, but I think they've done it simply because it's so huge. I have driven through here many times, and I've cycled through here many times, and both of them are actually pretty good.
Yeah.
I mean, this is a way to design a roundabout, right?
Yeah.
We're going to exit here, by the way.
Oh, yeah. There's only one traffic lane, greenery, like
Yeah.
a green buffer. Oh yeah. This is once again done by someone who actually came down here. I was like, okay, how will this thing not suck?
Yeah.
Yeah. And so yeah. And they did it.
Now, the architecture out here is maybe not the nicest, but
I mean, it does its job, I think. But
yeah, but here you've got the kids' playground right outside of the low-rise building.
it looks like commie blocks a bit, but
It does a little bit, yes.
yeah. Now see, these are only. These are not 2+1 bike lanes. These are
No, these are narrower, and
Yeah.
you can tell they're the older style because they have these
stones.
these stones.
Yeah.
It's not like the asphalt. I do love it when you get passed by like some 60-year-old woman on an e-bike.
Yeah.
Is Adam something sitting in the Bachfiets? No, that would have been funny. Actually, my Bachfiets is still broken. The electrical assist died, and I was keeping it alive for years because the company that made it went out of business in 2018. And it was on life support, but eventually it died, and I just couldn't fix it. So I've been trying to remove all of those old bits and everything, and it's much harder than I thought, because one of the issues is that if you need to order any parts for a bicycle right now, there are nothing available. There's the supply chains are all screwed up because of Corona, but also
Really?
there was a huge boom all over the world in cycling, so
Oh, yeah.
demand for bicycles is through the roof. So what
Yeah.
that means is that buying bicycle parts is basically impossible.
Yeah, I didn't even know that actually. There's a huge bike store in the town I live in Germany,
Yeah.
and it's like There, I did not notice anything missing. Just everything is super fucking expensive. I don't go there. But seriously, like they have some kind of a bicycle light there, which is like for like 35 euros.
Yeah.
And you get like the same set in like a regular store, just like a general store for like 15.
Right.
And it's like, yeah, okay.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
So,
Oh, I have a feeling that we're not taking the most efficient way to where we're going, but I've been chatting too much. Anyway, it doesn't matter. We can get there.
oh, it's all right. We have time. We're going to see the city a bit.
Yeah. Yeah, somebody says here that much of the housing we passed was social housing. And Chad is just talking about different types of e-bikes, so that's fine.
Oh, yeah. I might actually get an e-bike at some point. Just like it's
We're gonna turn right here.
right. Like it's a pain in the ass to like go up and down the hills sometime.
Yeah, for sure. I find with the e-bike, like we got our first e-bike in Toronto, where there are more hills. Although Toronto is mostly flat from east to west.
Yeah.
It's really not that necessary, but what I find is just makes it so much easier to go longer distances.
Yeah.
Like if you're going a 20-kilometer bike ride, you might have to be really prepped for it on a regular bike, but on an e-bike, it's nothing. Like you can do 20 kilometers without any issue at all.
Yeah.
But you still get out and you get some exercise and fresh air, and it's nice. So I am generally pretty pro e-bike.
I don't know. I never even considered e-bikes before I, like when I was in Hungary. Only afterwards, because Hungary has this thing that it's completely flat.
Yep.
Like there's no reason for you to get any e-bike. It's like why?
Right.
There's like a 1 meter altitude difference between like here and like 50 kilometers away where you want to go, like whatever.
Right.
So.
It's the same kind of thing here. There isn't a lot of reason for e-bikes. A lot of e-bikes actually here in the Netherlands are actually bought by seniors.
Oh yeah, for seniors for sure.
Yeah. So we have our e-bikes that we brought over from Toronto. They are convenient though for long distances, but they're really not necessary. And actually, I usually take out the old Oma Feets, like single speed bike, because that's all I need. And I'm much less worried about it getting stolen. I can just lock it up by the rear wheel lock, and like it really doesn't matter. And so it's a lot more practical.
I mean, with an old bike like that, it's like, I don't know. With those bikes, you have to be careful that they don't get taken by like garbage removal or something.
Exactly. I'm going to let these people pass as soon as we get going. So I'll speed up ahead and
okay.
I'll let them pass.
Okay.
Yeah, you go on your motorcycle. And then, as it turns out, they were all turning left anyway. Okay, whatever.
Yeah. Oh well.
It's good when the truck in the bike lane is from the gemeente. Give me a second. Let this guy pass. Oh, woman.
And now we're in the more Islamic area of Amsterdam. We're like with like a major like not diaspora but like population.
Yes.
As you can see around you, it's complete chaos. Europe is burning. Gert Wilders was right.
Yeah, the couple of streets over, it's on fire 24/7.
Yeah. Like,
chaos, pandemonium.
Yeah, you might see that like disabled spot sign there, but it's a dog whistle for white genocide. it's a white man sitting down. You know, I don't know. Whatever. So.
Oh my God.
Oh yeah, I mean, Europe is collapsing around you. Look.
Clearly.
Yeah, it's the end times. Brown people.
It is ridiculous the amount of shit that comes out of America when they talk about these places. I'm like, really? Really?
Yeah, like I listen to these dumbasses, and it's like,
you must get more of them than me because you talk about this stuff more than I do.
Oh, a lot more. Yeah.
We're gonna go straight through it.
But like the thing is, like I listen to these dumb fucks talk about Europe, and it's like, I'm learning interesting things about Europe that I haven't realized nor experienced ever. Just seen, heard. And it's like, okay. My favorite bit though was from Ben Shapiro when he said like, I think he, I'm not sure if I misremember, I don't think so. When he was like, oh yeah, universal healthcare would never work in the US. It's like, why? It works in Europe. Yeah, but Europe is, essentially he said like, Europe is white. And it works there because I was like, okay.
Okay.
Yeah, he said like Europe is ethnically homogeneous, which is, I mean, if you tell that to a European, Europe is ethnically homogeneous, I mean, it's hysterical. Like, what the
Well, I mean, it also obviously ignores any history of different groups of people within Europe who don't consider themselves to be the same. But from that myopic view from the far right, the United States, everyone is white.
Yeah, but like Europe is like the least homogeneous place on the planet, basically. Well, not really, but the one of the most. So the fact that we have the EU and the fact that we can cooperate on this level with the EU, it's a miracle, right? Like this is already science fiction.
It is.
It's good. It's very good. I'm very glad. But like, oh my God, finally, like we're not killing each other based on like superficial differences.
Yeah.
So anyway.
I mean, that was what was always said about the EU. It's better to send goods across the border than tanks, right? So.
Oh yeah, absolutely.